Hey, what's up, Street Gods? The Eric from the Eric from Street Photography blog. Got Cindy on camera. Shout out to Alex from Leica. Thanks so much for the hookup. So, anyways, I got the news that the Q2 came out. Get an email from my buddy Alex, and I was like, oh, okay, let's figure out what this is all about. I was in the Leica store in Washington D.C. Check it out and played with it for a little bit, and actually I really liked it. So it just came in the mail and wanted to do a fun little unboxing for y'all. So fragile, handled with care. And really shout out to my buddy Alex because she went through all these crazy loops and hoops to get to me because me and Cindy are crazy on the road, currently in Palo Alto. Alright, so we got all this lovely bubble mailer, which is always fun because you could do the... Alright, for all you ASMR freaks out there, oh yeah, that sounds good. Anyways, so the thing that, truth be told, I was never really that into the original Leica Q. I'm always a little bit skeptical. And even though I like new technology, I think for the most part, I'm kind of more of a late adopter. I like to wait till things kind of pan out. And so it looks like, generally speaking, this is my theory that I've read is, and I kind of believe in it too, is that whenever that brand new anything comes out, wait until the second version that comes out before all the major kinks get ironed out. So the Q1, yeah, I'm sure it was a great camera, but the Q2, I'm sure they probably pretty much got it good. So it comes in this nice, lovely silver case. Unbox it. Whoa! Kind of opens up like this cool butterfly design. It's like like Pandora's box or something. So, that's kind of nice. I like that. Black on black and a black grayed out Leica dot. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. Whoa! It has this nice little metallic cover design. Very nice. And the presentation so far looks really lovely. The nice matte gray. Looks like this box comes out and looks pretty basic. It has the nice little red Leica dot. And let's open it up. Oh, it looks super nice. So this is my first impression. The coloring, the packaging looks really beautiful. And actually, from my perspective, looking at the way that even the lens marking and the colors look, it actually does look like a quote real Leica lens. And this is always, I think this is always generally the bias, like, oh, the Leica Q is not a quote real Leica camera because it's not an M. But I think for the most part, yeah, it looks good. It feels really good in the hand. One of the things I love most about the camera is this little thumb rest back here. Your thumb just fits perfectly here. Whoever designed that did a very thoughtful job. It feels very premium. It feels very solid and good in the hands. This is actually the thing that's interesting, is that it's not quite a... I think on the internet you look at it, it looks like a pocketable camera, something that could fit in the front pocket, but actually not quite. The aperture ring feels nice and clicky. That feels good. I generally recommend shooting autofocus on the Leica Q because it's so insanely fast. And this is actually the interesting thing. So by default, it's locked into autofocus. If you push this little button here, then this unlocks the mechanism, which allows you to go into manual focusing mode. So this is useful. Let's say if you're zone focusing, shoot at f8 with a 28mm lens, you could pre-focus your lens to about like 1 meter or so. And this means that then you could see the markings here. Everything from f8, which is about like 1.5 meters, and everything from f8 the other way, from about 0.8 meters will be in focus. So this is generally a good street photography technique. But generally, for the most part, I recommend shooting autofocus and just keeping AA mode, which is P mode. One of the biggest innovations I remember actually is the ability to turn on the macro mode. The way to turn to macro mode so you can focus a lot closer is there's a little mechanism on the side. And if you twist this mechanism here, boom, you go into macro mode and you're able to focus insanely close, which is very, very useful if you like to shoot things up close. And I think that shooting macro is actually one of the best ways to open up your creativity because there's a whole world of opportunity that allows you to do macro. And some subtle differences they did with the Q2. It's a little bit hard here to see, but the little on and off switch has this little red dot here, which I kind of don't understand because I'm not sure if that means if it's off or on. I guess that means it's off. So to turn it on, you just kind of flick this here. I mean, truth be told, I wish that the new version of the Leica Q or M10 or M11 or whatever, just get rid of that red dot. I think it's just honestly superfluous. So to turn it on, just click it here and the camera is going to boot up. Other things that are very interesting is that you have this nice little click dial here, and the way that you could, and this button also you could click. So that's really nice. The buttons, the dial on top, it's pretty solid, but actually it still feels a little bit loose to me. I wish that this thing was a little bit stronger. And the way to take out the battery, which is pretty cool, this little mechanism here, you just flip that. And this is actually the tricky thing. You flip it, you would intuitively think you could pull it out. You can't. You have to push it in once, and then you could pull it out. And apparently the battery is improved or something. I'm not 100% sure, but it's pretty elegant. Clicks in there. SD card slot, it's here. Oh, cool. It came in with SD card slot. Very, very convenient. Thank you, Alex. And you could click this back in. And one thing they also did, which was very useful, is they simplified the menu, the play function, and menu button. And aesthetically, I think it's just nicer. Frankly speaking, I think the square buttons, I think it just kind of doesn't really go with the design. Maybe if they were more circular or something, would go better with the design aesthetic, but still, you know, not a really big deal. So let's turn it on. And let's see, what are my first impressions? So the first impressions is, so let's see how fast the autofocus is. Yeah, it's really fast. Oh, it looks like am I in video mode? Huh. How the hell do I get out of this? Drive mode, single. I have no idea what mode I'm in right now. Anyways, let me just kind of screw around with it until I figure out what's different. But anyways, the thing that's cool, an easy way to access the ISO button, the way it's set up by default. The button up here, you click that once, and then you get into the ISO mode. You can flip this around. That's very intuitive. And the really cool thing is this little new button up here. You could in camera crop, and you could shoot 35mm mode, 50mm mode, or 75mm mode. And I think this is super useful because it's almost like shooting with a Leica M. And so if you want to shoot photos, okay, it looks like it's working now. So if you're used to shooting with a 35mm, and if somebody's walking into your viewfinder, you could see these little white outlines here, which is essentially your frame. And so it actually is a more intuitive way of thinking about shooting with a rangefinder system. If you push the center button, that's to show you more information or not. That's actually very intuitive. And if I go through the function button, the different menu systems, yeah, everything looks super clean and tidy. Yeah, so my first impressions, and let me see, let me take a look through the viewfinder. Yeah, the viewfinder is nice. It's not as big as other electronic viewfinders in the market, but I think it's pretty adequate. Truth be told, if you're going to be shooting with one of these cameras, I don't think actually you're really going to be shooting with electronic viewfinder much. I think actually this camera seems to be best when you're shooting with the LCD screen. And this is actually a hidden benefit I found. When you're shooting street photography or whatever, an easiest way to get closer to your subjects is to extend your arm. And this way you could put the camera closer to your subject without making them feel a little bit uncomfortable. So yeah, so generally speaking, this is actually the funny thing with cameras at this point. I could play with it for maybe like a minute and see whether I like it or not. Yeah, so far I really like it a lot. A lot of people are curious, oh, I have the Q1, should I upgrade to the Q2? Probably not, but if you don't have it and you want the smallest, best full frame, somewhat compact camera, it looks like Q2 is the camera to get. I'm also a big fan that the lens is not interchangeable because I think creative constraints and not having as many options to zoom in and zoom out and to stick with one focal length, aka 28mm lens. And now even that this camera, you could crop into 35, 50, it's it's kind of like, yeah, it's a very cool camera. It feels super quality, and I'm pretty sure that somewhere along the line, Leica's, or I mean, I already know that Leica's collaborated with Lumix Panasonic to build their new digital cameras. And that's actually why I'm a big fan of Lumix cameras too. Even Cindy's recording this on the Lumix G9. And so yeah, this cross-pollination between these different little things here. The LCD screen looks fantastic. The menus are super simple and intuitive. Yeah, so big thumbs up to Leica for this camera. I'm going to do a more in-depth review shooting with it on the streets, but in terms of ergonomics, looks, design, feel, weight, handling, yeah, I would say it seems perfect. There's nothing much I would change. And the front grip feels pretty good. And for the price, I think you could get this for about $5,000. Whether it's worth the money or not, I think so. I mean, that's my intuitive gut feeling. At the same time, I think right now is an interesting time for, if you wanted to get a Q1, might be a good way, an opportunity to get an older Q. Even the Leica CL is a good option that's more budget friendly. Or even, this is a smart idea, buying an old Leica M9, or even an older Leica M8, or even an older Leica M monochrome are actually good opportunities. So yeah, it seems like for the most part, at this point, I think the most innovative camera company is probably Leica. I think Leica's killing it. And, you know, digital medium format, I generally think for myself, I'm more interested in digital medium format. I think there's a lot more unpaved ground there, and also smartphone technology. But in terms of a design object, a camera that you'll probably shoot with on a more everyday basis, the Q2 looks pretty good. So yeah, thumbs up to Leica and the design team. Going to do some more reviews. For those of you guys who have the Q2 or the Q1, what are your personal thoughts? Things you're curious about, leave a comment down below. Thank you so much to Alex and Leica for the hookup, and more thoughts to come, and also thanks to Cindy for recording. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Peace out.